In a metropolis like Hong Kong, transport, industrial and commercial activities, household living and many public facilities rely on a continuous supply of energy to keep on running. The most common energy sources include town gas, liquefied petroleum gas and fuel oils derived from petroleum, such as diesel and petrol. Recently, air pollution in Hong Kong has been getting more and more serious. The main cause of air pollution is our excessive use of fuel. A large amount of carbon dioxide is produced as a result of oil consumption by motor vehicles, factories and power stations. If we wanted to maintain an equilibrium with these gases in our ecosystem, we would need to plant trees over an area 100 times the size of Hong Kong. Photosynthesis in trees helps remove carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. Air pollution threatens the health of everybody in Hong Kong. Acute diseases of the respiratory system and cardiovascular diseases associated with air pollution have already cost Hong Kong people billions of dollars in terms of medical expenses and losses in productivity. Air pollution also threatens the economic development of Hong Kong. Excessive amounts of suspended particles in the air lower visibility on some days during the year. Our beautiful scenery may suddenly just fade away. Low visibility and poor air quality give tourists a bad impression of Hong Kong. This adversely affects tourism and makes multinational companies reluctant to host conferences, set up regional offices and do business in Hong Kong. Vehicle emissions have long been a major source of air pollution in Hong Kong. Our city is unique with its large number of buildings crammed in a small urban area and an overdependence on diesel vehicles. Diesel vehicles account for 30% of the total number of vehicles in Hong Kong, but they use 70% of the road surface. Diesel vehicles emit 98% of the respirable suspended particulates in Hong Kong, as well as around 80% of the nitrogen oxide. Overcrowded tall buildings in the urban centre and the hilly landform of Hong Kong Island also restrict air movement and hamper the dispersion of pollutants. As a result, the urban area becomes hazy and concentrations of suspended particulates and nitrogen oxide increase to high pollution levels. Therefore, diesel vehicles can be regarded as the main source of roadside air pollution in Hong Kong. The most common diesel vehicles on the road are lorries, public light buses, buses and taxis. An environmentally friendly package has been designed to reduce exhaust emission from diesel vehicles. This package includes the installation of the so-called Euro engine, which is an environmentally friendly engine that fulfills the European standards of exhaust emissions, the use of diesel with ultra-low sulfur content, and the installation of a specially designed catalytic converter. Bus companies are actively adopting measures to reduce exhaust emissions from buses in order to protect the environment.
An engine or an internal combustion engine is a machine that converts the chemical energy in fuel to mechanical energy. Pollutants are emitted during this conversion. Because the amount of exhaust emissions emitted by the new Euro engine is largely reduced, it is called an environmentally friendly engine. The first type is the pre-Euro model. The second type, Euro 1, is distinguished from the first type by the installation of an aftercooler in the engine, which can help reduce exhaust emission. The third type is the Euro 2. In addition to an aftercooler, there is an electronic fuel supply system. The computer in the engine can calculate the exact time when fuel should be released and the exact amount to be released in order to reduce exhaust emissions to a minimum. Hong Kong is soon introducing engines that meet the Euro 3 standards. This will further reduce exhaust emissions. Fitted with an exhaust recycling device, it can also further reduce emissions of nitrogen oxide.
Sulfur dioxide is another kind of air pollutant. Vehicle emissions are responsible for about 7% of the sulfur dioxide in the air.
Using ultra-low sulfur diesel can reduce the amount of pollutants in the exhaust emissions of buses. After switching to ultra-low sulfur diesel, we find fewer suspended particulates, hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, and sulfur dioxide in the exhaust emissions. This is important because sulfur content in diesel may render filters less efficient and disabled at worst.
The use of ultra-low sulfur diesel improves the air quality on the busy streets of the urban centre. It also reduces the occurrence of acid rain. Hence, it's beneficial to the environment. The installation of catalytic converters on older bus models can reduce pollutant emissions.
When exhaust emissions are filtered, carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons are converted into carbon dioxide and water, and nitrogen monoxide is converted into nitrogen dioxide, which can prevent blocking by burning or oxidizing the particles resting on the surface of the filter. In the end, the gas that comes out is very clean. In order to reduce the amount of suspended particulates emitted from old bus models, we install after-treatment devices such as catalytic converters. It is a vertical design. Catalysts are added to the surface of a honeycomb ceramic structure. When exhaust emissions pass through the surface of the catalysts, they are oxidized and become clean. Why is diesel instead of petrol used in buses? First of all, diesel is cheaper. Secondly, a diesel engine saves more fuel, is more reliable, and can last longer. It is also more efficient because it has a higher compression ratio. The most important thing is its output of torque. A greater torque can be achieved at a lower turning speed.
In general, most private cars use petrol. Petrol vehicles produce fewer exhaust emissions than diesel vehicles. However, in order to further reduce roadside air pollution caused by vehicle emissions, unleaded petrol was introduced in 1991. Petrol with lead content has been banned since the 1st of April 1999. Nowadays, motor vehicles in Hong Kong do not emit pollutants with lead content. At present, over 75% of all petrol vehicles have installed catalytic converters. With cars meeting new standards on the road, there's a significant reduction in the emission of nitrogen oxides, hydrocarbons and carbon monoxide. With effect from July 1997, new vehicles are required to install devices to control evaporative emissions. The emission of volatile organic compounds has been reduced by 90%. Other measures to improve roadside air quality and alleviate pollution at black spots include the installation of catalytic converters in all buses and taxis, the reorganization of bus routes, the development of plans to expand the pedestrian zones, and the restriction of the time during which vehicles can enter a particular area. Another measure to improve roadside air quality is to replace diesel vehicles with public light buses or taxis using liquefied petroleum gas or LPG as a fuel. To ensure the viability and safety of LPG vehicles, a one-year road test was carried out on 30 taxis. It was successfully concluded in November 1998. Results of the test show that the performance of LPG taxis was comparable to that of diesel taxis, but exhaust emissions were extremely low and virtually smoke-free. Encouraged by the results of the test, the government decided that with effect from the end of 2000, all new taxis should use LPG as fuel. A number of LPG public light buses are also being trialled. This is the service centre of an LPG taxi manufacturer. The technician is going to tell us the characteristics of LPG taxis.
The design of an LPG taxi is different from that of a diesel taxi in many aspects. First of all, while there's no difference in the appearance of the vehicles, there is a label on the side and the back of the LPG taxi showing that it's LPG powered and is environmentally friendly. An LPG taxi and a diesel one share the same structure in all systems, except for the fuel supply system, which must cope with different types of fuel. LPG is used as fuel in LPG taxis, whereas diesel is used in diesel taxis. In terms of performance, the use of LPG enables the taxi to accelerate more quickly and operate more quietly. It should be noted that there is a main switch on the taxi's LPG cylinder. When refilling, the outlet valve should be closed, whereas the inlet valve should be opened. As a precaution, the driver should turn off the LPG switch inside the car when leaving the vehicle. LPG is regulated by the government because it's a flammable gas. Service technicians and service centers have to be certified by the government before they render their services in repairing LPG engines and associated fuel supply systems. LPG is used as the fuel for vehicles in many regions and countries. With safety valves and controls in the system, LPG vehicles are very safe. The LPG used in vehicles is a mixture of propane and butane. The carbon content is lower than that of diesel. Therefore, LPG taxis don't emit black smoke.
I find its performance poorer than that of diesel vehicles. Perhaps it's because I'm not familiar with the operation of an automatic transmission. With 5 passengers on the car, for example, a diesel vehicle can move uphill more quickly.
I feel quite good about it. It's also less polluting.
There's not much difference in the air quality in the car.
If you don't have the air conditioner on, you won't feel that the car is running when you lean on it.
It's quieter in the car. The engine's quieter than a diesel one. It's more comfortable.
The car moves faster. With more refilling stations around, it's quite easy to get the car refilled. Moreover, I don't have to worry about receiving black smoke warning notices.
Well, we changed because the government told us to do so.
In principle, I support protecting the environment, and the government's made it a law, so we have to change in any case.
There are some savings in fuel costs, but there are not many benefits for drivers, because the car owners ask for higher rents.
Each of these bottles contain a liquid called liquefied petroleum gas, or simply LPG. Once ignited, a small amount of LPG can release a lot of energy. LPG is a gas with a high heat content. It's a petroleum product. It's pressurized and condensed into a liquid. Through centralized piping systems, LPG can be delivered to households for use in cooking and water heating. LPG can also be pressurized and put into bottles and sold as fuel. All new taxis nowadays use LPG as fuel. Town gas is another fuel for use in households. Town gas is produced from naphtha, a lightweight petroleum product which is subject to successive high-pressure treatments and mixed with steam under different conditions and in different combinations. Town gas is commonly used for cooking and water heating. Both LPG and town gas are inflammable and should be carefully handled in everyday use. Any leakage can be catastrophic. But if safety rules are followed, LPG and town gas are both safe and reliable fuels. A special odor is added into LPG and town gas. Leakage can be detected easily. If you notice or suspect a gas leak at home, the following measures should be taken. Turn off stove flames. Never attempt to test the source of leakage with a flame. Open all doors and windows to let the gas disperse. Check if all gas appliances are turned off. Shut down the gas main. If you fail to stop the leakage, you should leave immediately and use the telephone at a safe place to call the gas company and the fire services department. Never use any telephone or mobile phone on the spot. Never turn off or on any electrical switch because it may create sparks which may cause explosions. Never ring the doorbell. In using various gas appliances every day, we should also take note of the following. With effect from the 1st of April 2000, the installation of flueless water heaters in the kitchen is prohibited by legislation. Where a flueless water heater has already been installed, there's no immediate need to dismantle it. But remember not to use it continuously for more than 5 minutes. Windows and doors should be kept open when the water heater is used so as to ensure adequate ventilation. With effect from the 1st of July 2000, the use of flueless water heaters in bathrooms or for showering purpose is prohibited by legislation. The room-sealed balanced flue water heater is the safest. Its specially designed duct leads flue gases to the outside and draws in fresh air. So there's no need to open windows when using the water heater. When using bottled LPG, please note that the bottle should be placed vertically in a well-ventilated location. To avoid danger, don't place it near the stove. The hoses of LPG appliances should be properly connected to the LPG bottles. They should be placed away from sources of heat and regularly replaced by registered technicians. Never use portable LPG stoves in poorly ventilated locations. This is because when the stove is used, it uses up oxygen in the air. LPG cannot be completely combusted and generates fatal carbon monoxide gas. There should not be an excessive number of LPG bottles kept at home. If gas fuel is used, it's best to arrange for technicians of town gas or LPG agents to check the stoves and the appliances regularly as a safety precaution. The fossil fuels we use every day will be exhausted eventually. Pollutants and harmful gases are also emitted during the combustion of fuel. To avoid an energy crisis and reduce environmental pollution, we should save energy in our daily lives. For example, we can make more use of public transportation and reduce our use of private cars. Use more energy-efficient and less polluting means of transportation, such as the railway system. Use home appliances with energy labels. Switch off lights, air conditioners, electrical appliances and other energy-consuming items when not in use. In summer, switch on the air conditioner only when the room temperature is above 25 degrees centigrade. Note that the temperature should not be set too low. Remember to close doors and windows when using air conditioners. If everyone in Hong Kong plays their part in saving energy, we'll have fresher air and help to avoid an energy crisis.